tonight. Residents of Musgrave Harbour are evacuated as a wildfire rages near the community.
What I saw was fire all around me and people panicking, moving everything they could move.
Evacuees gather in Gander. Many are worried about their homes. We'll have the latest on all the province's wildfires.
We're supporting them and they're inspirational kids, and I'm so proud of them.
Youth from Shehadjid complete a 130-kilometer walk to protest the Gull Island Hydro project. We'll hear from one of their supporters.
In a world where there's a rise of hatred and division, we just feel it's important to show up and show that we respect the dignity of every human being.
St. John's Pride Festival organizers say it was the biggest pride parade ever as thousands packed the streets of downtown on Sunday. Good evening and welcome to Here and Now. We begin with a wildfire that's burning out of control near Musgrave Harbour in central Newfoundland. The blaze caused the evacuation of around 900 residents of the town early yesterday. An evacuation centre has been set up in nearby Gander, and that's where Here and Now's Henrika Wilhelm joins us now live. So Henrika, what's the latest on the fire?
Yeah, Carolyn, so the latest update on the fire was provided by the provincial government around noon today, and there was some good news in there. So a drop in wind and an increase in humidity have really helped slow the growth of this fire, and so it wasn't expected to impact the town today. Now, we also did get some rain overnight and a little bit this morning. I'm actually feeling dribbles here right now, and there's even more rain in the forecast overnight and into tomorrow, and all that is making officials cautiously optimistic. Now, you said it, evacuees from Musgrave Harbour have been sent here to Gander, and the town has really opened its arms and welcomed them. Here at the Steel Community Centre is where the Red Cross has set up its evacuation centre, and where those who left their homes were asked to register. Just next door at the Salvation Army Citadel, evacuees could stop in throughout the day for a hot meal. And while some had to find hotel rooms, many made use of other options.
They've been put up by friends and family. They've dispersed throughout the island. And again, just another of those situations where Newfoundlanders step ahead. People just drove up and said, I have space for 3-4 people. They can come and stay in my house.
It's the second time within a month Mike Berry and his team had to step up here in central Newfoundland after the evacuation order for Badger in mid-June.
I'm not sure if that's a sign of some of the changes that we've seen, but it is concerning. And, we want to be there for people, but it makes me think, and it makes some of our volunteers think that who's next, and we could be next as well.
It's a concern Premier John Hogan, who stopped by during breakfast, knows about too.
Well, it's unfortunate that I think this will continue a little bit throughout the summer. We had a dry winter, we're having a hot summer, but Newfoundlanders and Labradorians will be there for each other, and it's important that people know that the government of Newfoundland and Labrador will be there for them as well.
For evacuees, it's a stressful situation.
It's a lot of mixed emotions here. There's probably residents that didn't get any sleep last night. I can't even believe that I'm even saying this. I can't believe that we're finding ourselves here.
What I saw was fire all around me and people panicking, moving everything they could move. Well, it was right in front of me. I knew we'd have to leave. I'm expecting possibly to go home to a pile of ashes. If they don't get it the way it's heading, I can't see escaping it.
Yeah, so you heard it there. It's a whole lot of uncertainty at this point, as of course the town of Musgrave Harbour is still under this evacuation order. So for the residents, that means they're doing their very best to just wait for updates and for that okay to return home. Reporting live from Gander, I'm Henrika Wilhelm.
Well, Musgrave Harbour is just one of 6 active wildfires burning in the province right now. Here Now's Jessica Singer has been keeping up with the latest. So, Jessica, what do we know about the status of these other fires?
Yeah, so the Chance Harbour wildfire is still active and labeled as out of control. That's grown around to 1,800 hectares. There were 2 water bombers and a helicopter working on that fire today. And Forestry Minister Lisa Dempster says suppression efforts are moving in the right direction and officials hope to get crews on the ground tomorrow. Chance Harbour Road is still closed and Dempster is urging people to stay out of the area. But she says there is currently no active threat to the residents in the nearby Jamestown and Winterbrook.
And I think when the dashboard is updated tomorrow, your audience will see that Small Point is effectively out, is the news that I would have gotten today. And that one was about 5.2 hectares in size.
So officials are keeping an eye on the out-of-control wildfire in Labrador as well, which is around 80 kilometers from Churchill Falls, but they say that fire isn't of much concern right now. There are 3 other active wildfires in Newfoundland, but Dempster says those are all being held or under control, including, as you heard her just mention, the fire which broke out in Small Point last Thursday. And as we know, the biggest fires are still in Chance Harbour and Musgrave Harbour, so that's where the focus is right now. Dempster says the province has brought in some help to fight the fires. So far, 2 water bombers from Quebec and another aircraft from New Brunswick have been called in. We're expecting some rain within the next few hours, which will hopefully also help control the flames. Reporting live from the newsroom, I'm Jessica Singer for Here and Now.
Well, a 26-year-old man has been arrested on several firearm-related charges. The RNC says on Saturday night, the man brandished a gun in front of multiple people in the area of St. Teresa's Court. The man was arrested several hours later, around 1 a.m. Sunday morning, and he now faces 9 charges, including possession of a weapon for dangerous purpose, pointing a firearm, and assault with a weapon. Police say a 44-year-old woman was also arrested and charged with obstructing a police officer. And in other news, an occupational health and safety is laying charges in relation to the death of a Newfoundland and Labrador hydro employee. In August 2023, a man was seriously injured and then died en route to hospital after an industrial accident at the Holyrood station. Hydro is now facing 9 charges related to failures to ensure a safe workplace. As well, a Hydro supervisor is charged with failure to ensure the health, safety, and welfare of workers. In a statement, Hydro says it's fully cooperating and the safety of employees and contractors is its highest priority.
Way to go! Woo! Way to go! Way to go!
Well, that's a group of young people from the Shehajit Innu First Nation arriving at Gull Island after completing a 130-kilometer trip on foot. The youth left Shehajit last Monday, making the journey to protest the proposed hydroelectric facility said to be developed at the Gull Island site. Roxanne Rich owns a cabin in the area, and she greeted the youth with a meal as they arrived.
Me and my husband were supporting the workers that's walking from CCC to Gull Island, young adults. And we had the walkers come here, their family. Chief Hart was here, the council was here, Darren McKay, Etienne Pone, Daniel Pinette. They were all here supporting the workers and my family and friends.
Yeah. So the youth who walked from Shehajit to Gull Island, how are they feeling after their walk?
They look really tired, but they look really good. They look really tired and good.
And did they say what the reaction's been for their walk and what people have been telling them?
No, they didn't say much. I was just here to feed them and prepare salmon and potatoes for them. And they had a good feast. And the chief Hart bought in some pizza and drinks and tea for us. So we had like so many people here this night. So we were supporting them, and they're inspirational kids, and I'm so proud of them.
Like, what are people saying in the community, like seeing the youth sort of take this stand to do, you know, a 130-kilometer walk? That's not an easy feat.
No, it's not easy. It looks really hard because yesterday when I see them, they were really tired and they were really determined to finish. So I was really proud of them. And as for me, I am proud of them. I can't speak for the community, but I'll speak for myself. I am very proud of them, and I hope something good comes out of this walk. And I hope the leaders from Innu Nation sees them. Like, they want to protect the land. Money don't matter to us. The land is.
And do you think this is starting more conversations now?
Yeah, I hope so. I really hope so. Because I got grandkids of my own, and someday I'm going to have great grandkids and great grandkids again. And I want them to live on the land too. Not only about the money, but the land.
And what do you love about Gull Island?
I love Gull Island. Every year we have a gathering there. I take my family. I set up my own tent there. And there's a lot of activities for the adults and the children. And everybody comes together. They go visit each other. There's no politics. There's nothing there. Just enjoy company from other people.
Now to some national news. Canada's premiers have gathered for a 3-day meeting in central Ontario. They're talking about many issues, including Donald Trump's trade war. One of the premiers at the meeting told reporters that slapping tariffs on U.S. goods could harm Canadians.
The tariffs imposed by President Trump are going to be painful to American families and American industry. The same holds true for counter tariffs and Canadians, and we're seeing that in Saskatchewan. So, I've never been a big proponent of increasing counter tariffs and that sort of thing. Let's all get to the table and let's find a way to renew the USMCA or renewed North American Trade Agreement.
Well, the premiers will welcome the Prime Minister to the event tomorrow. Mark Carney is expected to update them on the status of trade talks with the United States. Well, back in St. John's, the St. John's Pride Festival concluded over the weekend with its annual parade, and organizers say it might have been their largest parade to date.
Happy Pride! Happy Pride! We are just here to support our LGBTQ family, as I am part of, and we're just a loving family all together, and we're just here to be here.
What accessory or part of your outfit do you like the most?
Probably my heart glasses. Or
can you pop them on now? We gotta see them.
Yeah.
Oh, that girl.
We really want people to know that our whole event is inclusive and welcoming and a safe space. A lot of our attendees and our vendors and our own committee members are part of the queer community, and we want to know that this is a place that they can come.
And it's amazing to be able to get together as a group of educators who are dedicated to creating inclusive spaces in classrooms, make connections, support the kids. It's great that we have some students out with us as well, so we can show support for the 2S LGBTQ+ community.
Happy Pride! What is the meaning of Pride? Again, just celebrating the great diversity of all people. It's important for us to be here today because in a world where there's a rise of hatred and division, we just feel it's important to show up and show that we respect the dignity of every human being.
Pride is super important, I think, just to show up and show everyone's so welcoming. It's just an important all around, for whether it's gay pride, queer pride, even just body pride, any type of pride, I think is just important to be hi, this is me and this is where we are.
As you can see, the weekend was absolutely beautiful from that tape there, but we've got some showers moving over much of the island right now. Much needed help for those wildfires. Taking a look at our highs today, with the exception of Twillingate and St. John's, everywhere really in the mid to upper teens, including in Labrador, where it was a little cooler from 11 to 16 degrees for that part of our province. What is on the way? Rain tonight, clearing tomorrow, but still cool temperatures in the teens for much of the province, which is good for fighting those fires.
Well, in less than 3 weeks, the Canada Games will begin in St. John's. And leading up to the Games, we're introducing you to some of the athletes and coaches representing our province. Up first, Gavin Baggs, a multi-sport athlete entering his 4th Canada Games.
My name is Gavin Baggs, and I will be competing in swimming and track and field at the Canada Games. I started swimming 5-6 years ago to help strengthen my back because I was born with a disability through my spine. But over the years, I've been getting better and faster, and I started swimming competitively. And since then, it's led me to Canada Games.
He's a pretty outstanding athlete. He's super talented and works really hard. And in the country, he's one of the top para swimmers for sure.
American. Go!
And track, a bit of a shorter story. I was asked to try it one day, and I've been doing it ever since. So I've been doing that one for 2-3 years now.
Gavin is a very dedicated, very serious athlete. He manages hockey, swimming, athletics, and on top of that, he's a theater kid.
And did it my way.
He's a busy guy, but he manages to do it all, and he does it all well.
This is my third Canada Games. I've been to 2 winter and 1 summer, 2 for wheelchair basketball and 1 for swimming in the past. But I feel like this is going to be the most special one purely because it's based in Newfoundland. Just being able to have the games come to the place where I've been living my entire life means so much to me and every other athlete, coach, volunteer, everybody who helped with the games.
We're going to regroup after the 200 drill swim and do the 25s together. We have 7 practices a week, sometimes 2 hours, sometimes 3 hours, or just an hour and a half, depending on what we're working on. But Gavin's schedule can be a little different because we're trying to manage 3 sports, so we have to adjust a little bit for him as we go.
There's a lot of training. I've been doing multiple strength workouts a week, and doing the swimming and track is my cardio. I do in total about 9 or 10 sessions a week of both, so there's definitely no shortage of training when it comes to competing for Canada Games.
I think that Gavin is just super athletic as a person, and he can pick up on things really quick. So lots of times I'll tell him to adjust his technique and he'll adjust right away, whereas other kids you might be saying the same thing over and over for 3 or 4 months before they can make the change.
Your 3rd, 4th, 5th laps were like perfect.
He doesn't get distracted, so he has all these distractions in his life, but when he's there, and he's just gonna work. And he doesn't overthink it, he just shows up, gets it done, and then moves on to the next job. He's one of the top athletes in the country for wheelchair racing, and I think he's gonna show that in the games.
We definitely expect him to be in finals, so that means the top 8. And beyond that, anything is possible. So we're really hoping to see if we can get him on the podium, but it's a difficult call right now.
The next thing for me, aside from Canada Games, would be training for the Winter Paralympics. I play para hockey with the men's national team, but I'm one of the younger guys. I only got on the team this year, so there's no guarantee that I make the team for Paralympics. So I'm going to be training harder than I ever have for the next few months in order to even get a shot at being able to go to Milan.
We get our first glimpse of Gavin Baggs. You made it.
When I was first competing in the games, I was 11. I didn't really have a full grasp on the situation.
You see him coming right in, he's calling for the ball. He's calling for the ball, there's his cut, and there it is, there's his basket.
But now I realize that it means so much because most people who try to get to Canada Games never get to Canada Games. And the fact that I've been to 4 now, it definitely means so much to me.
Heather, we just heard from Henrika Wilhelm, who's out in Gander. She was on the show a little bit earlier reporting on the evacuation there from the wildfire, and she says it's pouring out there. So I guess that's a bit of good news, right?
That's absolutely good news for this whole area and anyone who is trying to fight these fires or contain them. We do have a little bit of a wildfire forecast for you here now, and you can see the first icon that we have here is one for rain. So that's tonight into tomorrow, 13 degrees. We're going to have our winds switch around tonight, like to northwesterly. So that will bring the wind back onto this area instead of pushing out over the community and out over the water like it has been. But Wednesday, Thursday, the conditions look a little bit drier and a little bit warmer, which we know is not necessarily great for fire. So hopefully that rain that Henrika is seeing right now will just move over this area as well and help dampen that fire. But we also do have a air quality statement in effect for this area. And what that can do is that can irritate the smoke, that it can irritate your eyes, your throat, your lungs. So for anyone who suffers from any conditions that could be irritated by the smoke, best to keep your windows closed, your doors closed. If you have any sort of air filter that'll filter out the smoke, maybe turn something like that on to keep yourself safe from some of these air quality issues from the smoke. But just taking a look at our satellite radar now, we can see showers moving across the province and the areas of yellow being a little bit heavier. Precipitation there as well, and we'll see all of that into tonight. So taking a look at our rainfall projections now, we should see for the Bonavista Peninsula, the Burin Peninsula, Conagra Peninsula, about 20 to 30 millimeters of rain. Through Central, it looks like we'll see in the 20 to 30 range for the 10 to 20 range for parts of Central and for the Avalon Peninsula, and that'll taper off for the Northern Peninsula, where we could see about 5 to 10 for you folks as well. Taking a look at our winds, they'll be dropping back in the overnight, being a little bit lighter, which is good for fire conditions, but things will pick up tomorrow, some gusts to 60 in places as we head into Tuesday morning. Taking a look at our future tracker now, and this is what we are going to see as we head into the overnight towards midnight. We'll see some of that rain really move across much of the island. Things fairly quiet in Labrador, partly cloudy, chance of showers for some areas in Labrador. All the action tonight is going to be on the island with this system here, this low that is going to be moving over the island. By the morning time, we'll see some clearing sort of in St. John's, just some cloud there as this starts to swirl away from us. Taking a look at our temperatures for tonight, down into the single digits for much of the province except for the south coast and eastern parts of the island here, 7 in Labrador City, and out on the coast there in Labrador where we could have cloudy skies for the most part with a chance of showers, northerly winds for you folks as well. On the island, 9 degrees for Grand Falls, Windsor and Corner Brook, and a little bit cooler there in St. Anthony as well. And we could see, again, the 20 to 30 millimeters for this swath of the province here from the Burin Peninsula on up to the Bonavista Peninsula, and less for St. John's on the Avalon, and less through Central, and less again for Corner Brook area. Taking a look at a future tracker again, when we wake up tomorrow, we'll see some of that rain starting to clear, some clouds then for the west coast, and things starting to clear off after that, and some scattered showers across Labrador here as well. As we head into the afternoon, things will clear up and brighten up with a mix of sun and cloud for a lot of places. Taking a look at our provincial forecast to tomorrow, temperatures still quite cool, 18, 19 through parts of Central, and a little bit cooler for Gross Morin and the Northern Peninsula, and 12 to 15 for the Avalon Peninsula as well. As we head on up into Labrador, temperatures are going to be warmer than they are today, 18, 17 for central and western Labrador, but cooler on the coast, anywhere from 10 to 14 degrees, where you will see some cloudy skies, but a peak of sun for you folks there as well. We'll have your long-range forecast later in the show.
Great. Thanks so much, Heather. 1 year ago today, the community of New West Valley was celebrating an incredible survival story. A crew of fishermen, now known as the Lucky Seven, returned home after their boat, the Elite Navigator, caught fire and sank. The crew spent around 50 hours adrift in a life raft over 200 kilometers from land before being rescued. It was a rare outcome in a province with a long history of nautical tragedies. Eugene Carter was captain of the vessel, and he joins me now. It's hard to believe it's been exactly 1 year since you and the rest of your crew came ashore in New West Valley, the entire community celebrating. How do you feel when you think back to that day?
I mean, thinking back, yeah, it's very hard to believe that 1 year has passed already. I mean, I've been kept pretty busy with fishing season, and I guess time moves by pretty quick. But when you get up into the summer month there now, and it's actually getting towards my birthday, so it's always in the back of my mind that 1 year is just around the corner, and I guess 1 year is today. So no, it's I mean, I do flash in my mind in and out a little bit, but it's all positive. So knowing that we're all here 1 year later to talk about it, so.
And you say you're busy with the fishing season, so this experience that you had 1 year ago, it didn't affect how you feel about going out in a boat, going fishing, being on the water?
No, not really at all. Like my first trip that I did go out, like when I left the wharf, you do get a little hairy feeling in the back of your mind. But after a couple hours pass, it just as per normal, pretty much as if nothing happened before. Like, I mean, I do think about it at times, but nothing that has affected me.
So you're doing well. I'm sure a lot of people will be happy to see that. How is the rest of the crew doing now a year later?
The rest of the crew, now everybody besides for Harold has been back on the water. They've been like out with their family members fishing, or just with some friends throughout the start of this fishing season. Harold is, I mean, this was his last trip last year that he was ever going to go again, and unfortunately, what happened? But Harold is actually working at the local fish plant in Valleyfield, and I actually see Harold a lot there on the wharf when we come in to offload and whatnot. So.
And how are you marking this anniversary? Did you do any celebrating of your own over the weekend?
Barber Heritage Site. They put off a little show for 150 years for one of their anniversaries, and they actually brought us into one of their little plays for about ships from the barbers and whatnot for our Lucky Seven. So I did attend that, and then we actually went over to David Teller's store, and we had a little get together over there, a few of us from the Lucky Seven, and we just played some music and had a few beverages.
Eugene, when people experience close calls, it can be life-changing. I'm wondering, how has your life changed because of your experience, because of what happened?
I guess moving forward, throughout this year of my fishing and whatnot, I always, I mean, you're always double checking things. You're always thinking twice about what you're doing, and I guess you're always making sure your T's are crossed and your I's are dotted when you're out on the water.
I bet. And, you know, the Lucky Seven, you know, you have a bit of celebrity in this province for sure, and it was a national story. What was that like for you and your crew to get all of that attention at that time?
I mean, at first there, like when we came in, I could say, like, we were almost on the high. Like we were still trying, we were in disbelief of what happened. And so, I mean, everything just came at a blur, but for the first short while. But I mean, after that, I guess with all the calls and conferences and people wanting you to do this and do that, I mean, it do get a little overwhelming after a while. Mm-hmm. But for the most part, we took it pretty good. So.
Mm-hmm. And I understand that there's going to be a plaque that's going to be installed in New West Valley soon.
Yes, there is. I was actually talking to the mayor, Mike Teller, the other day. He's still working on a date to get this plaque installed. And I guess he's still waiting to hear back for the final decision on where it's going to go.
Okay, Well, Eugene Carter, I'm delighted to see that you're doing so well and that everyone seems to be doing well. And like I said, it's amazing. It's been a year. A year has passed. Incredible. Thank you so much for speaking with me today. Really appreciate it.
No worries, anytime.
It's a cold-blooded fish facing some warming water problems.
Every year it's hotter and hotter. We're in a dry spell and a drought out here now. We haven't seen rain in weeks.
I'm Layla Baudouin in Stitty Brook. That story all about salmon coming up.
Returning now to our top story. In Central Newfoundland, a fire continues to burn out of control near Musgrave Harbour. People in the town and in a nearby camping ground were told to evacuate early Sunday. Evacuees have been told to go to Gander, where the Red Cross has set up an evacuation center and is registering those who have left their homes. So let's check back in with Henrika Wilhelm, who joins us now live from Gander. So Henrika, there's been an outpouring of support from the community, but we can see there's also a lot of pouring rain right now, which is a very welcome sight.
Yes, Carolyn, I was going to say it's not just raining hard, I would actually say it's pouring, which of course is very, very welcome news for all residents of the area, especially for all the evacuees and of course for the firefighters working on this fire. I mean, so hard that I actually had to go and get my rain jacket. As for the community response you've been mentioning, I've heard that it's been overwhelming with countless offers for help coming in. Gander residents and businesses have stepped up. And I spoke to their mayor, Percy Farwell, earlier today about his town's involvement in the ongoing evacuation of Musgrave Harbour.
Well, usually when those decisions are being made, they're with, through the Provincial Emergency Coordination Centre, I think it's called, and various agencies that oversee these sorts of things. We would have been contacted to see our ability to be a host for registration centre, which of course we were, and we're happy to do so. And then we get engaged from there. So we are part of that emergency coordination group. And we are providing some, space obviously for the registration and any other needs. But particularly communication is an important one that we are providing support in, because we have a lot of people in our community who are reaching out, understandably, to us, wondering if there are things that they need to do at this point. And so we need a good conduit of clear information for them to be able to, facilitate anything that would be needed. At this point, I think things are pretty well under control. There's those that needed to be accommodated here have been in hotels, and we're just praying now for the conditions to persist as they have been. And the water bombers are on the fire now, and there's some rain coming, so we're all sort of fingers crossed. And in the meantime, we're trying to do what we can to make these people's lives a little easier while they're here during a pretty stressful time.
Have you been speaking at all to residents of Musgrave Harbour, or have you been in touch with the town? How are people feeling?
I have been speaking to some residents as they were registering here and so on. They're very appreciative of the services being provided through the coordination of the Red Cross and the various things that are being offered here in the community. At the end of the day, it's stressful. They've left their homes behind. They don't know whether they're going to have a home to come back to. It's challenging times for sure, but we're very happy that we're able to be that little bit of a safe haven for them in the meantime, recognizing that they'd much rather not have to be here. And we love to see them visit, but only on their own terms, and this is not really on their own terms, unfortunately, at this point.
And that was Henrika Wilhelm speaking with Gander Mayor Percy Farwell. So now let's go to the West Coast. A salmon fisherman there is sharing his concerns for the future of Atlantic salmon. The CBC's Leila Baudouin reports.
You look around and you're on the river in nature, out in the mountains. It's very peaceful. I find it takes all my stress away when I'm on the river.
But that peaceful feeling felt by 44-year-old angler Wayne Fitzpatrick was broken recently when he saw something he says he can't get out of his head.
I went to a pool, it was probably maybe a week and a half ago, and there was, I'm going to guess, probably about 40 salmon stuck in a pool that was 20 feet by 20 feet. There's no more water flowing into it or out of it. So they were stuck there in this shallow, warm water that was probably in the high 20 degrees. And they can't move anywhere until we get rain and the water comes up. So they're still there. And if that dries up, well, they're going to die, right?
Fitzpatrick doesn't want to name the river because he fears opportunistic poachers will take advantage of salmon trapped in these pools. Another concern, warming waters. He says the temperature in the salmon's habitat is sometimes more than double what it should be.
Every year it's hotter and hotter. We're in a dry spell and a drought out here now. We haven't seen rain in weeks.
As water temperatures warm, it makes it difficult for the salmon to regulate its body temperature. On top of that, it causes the cold-blooded fish to metabolize faster, leaving it searching for two things: more food and oxygen.
Even for us as humans, if you're stressed,
you reach a limit where any little thing just causes like something that is disproportionate.
Atlantic salmon researcher Valerie Ouellette says many factors come into play to stress the Atlantic salmon. They prefer a cozy 4 to 10 degrees Celsius, but sometimes find themselves in water reaching 25 degrees or higher.
Temperatures in the high 20s are certainly approaching lethal or within lethal limits of salmon.
The Humber River is on a warm water shutdown, closing 10:01 in the morning to 1 hour before sunrise the following day. Several of the province's 200 or so rivers are closed or under special DFO orders. But it's colder here, thanks to the Deer Lake hydroelectricity plant pumping in cooler water from Newfoundland's largest lake.
It keeps the water to it because they come from Grand Lake. Go out there about 10 feet and you'll know.
But I'll agree, each river tells a different story, and as things heat up, more has to be done to enhance the survivability of salmon.
To some degree, it falls on a collective of multiple groups, the users of the resource, us who try to provide science and manage the resource, etc. And unfortunately, it's not really something that we can put blame on either to much degree, because a lot of this is out of our control.
Kelly says monitoring rivers has ramped up as temperatures rise. He points to climate-induced heating of the water, and they're studying aquaculture impacts on Newfoundland's south coast near Conn River, where a body of salmon is on the brink of extinction. In a recent study, 13 of 19 salmon species were in the critical zone. Fitzpatrick says there needs to be more enforcement on the rivers. For now, he says he'll do his part.
I mean, if it's open, you're allowed to do it, but more people should be using a bit better judgment, I think, than relying on someone else to open and close the river.
Layla Baudouin, CBC News.
Well, police are warning the public about a dangerous illicit drug circulating on the Northeast Avalon. Phenazlam has been showing up in other drugs and has already led to the overdose death of a 14-year-old in Mount Pearl. That has local harm reduction experts worried.
Phenazlam is actually, it's a form of a benzodiazepine, but it was never really meant for human consumption. Like, it was never really on the market, even as a pharmaceutical. It's often what we will call like a research drug, and it's usually gotten off the internet. And so, yeah, it's showing up in the supply now, which is something that has been happening. Synthetic opioids, benzodiazepines, things that are just not expected in things that people are purchasing. They're getting different than what they expect to be getting, which is dangerous. Benzodiazepines do not have a widely available reversal medication like opioids do. So in this case, I would administer naloxone, which is a fairly available opioid reversal agent, and it's also a very, very safe medication. So if you come upon this situation, chances of you knowing exactly what somebody took are very slim. So I would call 911, administer naloxone, because naloxone is very, very, very safe. The only thing it does is reverse the effects of opioids. So if that's not what's happening, it's not going to do anything. But chances are there will be some opioids on board, so it can at least help with that aspect of things. When it comes to the benzodiazepine aspect of what this person is experiencing, there's not a widely available reversal. There is a medication that can help with that, but that has to be accessed like through the hospital, through typical healthcare, which is why getting EMS en route is so important, because as a bystander, we can administer naloxone to get those other supportive care that somebody needs in this perspective. They need the medical system. They need EMS.
Well, people looking to sharpen their mountain bike skills have a new place to practice. A new bike skills park opened up in Pippi Park over the weekend, and the CBC stopped by for the ribbon cutting.
We're proud to open the Volkswagen Audi St. John's Mountain Bike Skills Park. So I'm the president of the Avalon Mountain Bike Association. We're a local nonprofit entity that basically came out of a desire to have more formal mountain bike infrastructure. There was a need for more beginner and intermediate infrastructure. So when we proposed this to Canada Games and they got excited and ran with it, we were happy and comfortable that, you know, this is something that we could take on. This is something we can do. A couple of the Canada Games athletes that are here now, they're the ones that are doing like the transfers between the different jump lines. Like they know what they're doing. But there's also younger kids here who are just getting used to it, and there's a couple older folks too who, you know, this is the first time that they've probably had jumps that were built correctly in a controlled environment. So it's a great place for them to learn as well.
It's great. It's good to see everybody out here. The conditions are pretty good. It's a bit windy, but you know, everyone's powering through it. It's great to see something like this here for the city. This is really the first time we had a set of dirt jumps like this, and it's great to see everybody's skill level out here.
We've been crying out for, you know, beginner trails, intermediate trails, and they're slowly coming, but something like this is just huge in terms of learning. And of course, the Canada Games is a huge boon to this. It's going to really support, it's already supported infrastructure, the team, the Canada Games teams, the road biking team, the mountain biking team, and all of this infrastructure is going to be here for us afterwards to enjoy and learn on and to grow the sports.
I wasn't expecting to come up here like every day and there'd be like 20, 30 people, there'd be a lineup waiting to go, and they're here even if it's a bit windy, they're still navigating it fine, they're figuring it out. It's really cool to see it.
time for a look at the long range. And Heather, I'm sure fire crews are delighted to see a lot of the rain that's coming down on the island right now.
Yeah, I hope they are. And we can just take a look right here. We've got rain pretty well across much of the province, from the Burin Peninsula to Gander, where we saw Henrika Wilhelm, to the west coast there, and even on the Bonavista Peninsula, seeing some rain right across the province there now, which is good news because it looks like the ground needed it anyways. As we look a little bit further ahead to Wednesday, things will be clearing out. It looks like Wednesday morning will be a nice day, a mix of sun and cloud for much of the province. It's going to be a nice summer day. This is obviously nice weather for us in the summer, but it's, you know, a typical summer day, so I don't know how good that is for fire and fire behavior, because we've been seeing so many fires into the 20s pretty well for much of the island, except for the southwest coast and St. Anthony, and into the Straits there, of course, and the coast of Labrador, but back into the 20s for Central Labrador and for Labrador City as we go into Wednesday. As we move on into Thursday, Wednesday evening and the overnight, we'll see some showers pushing into Labrador West, some cloud pushing across a lot of the province there, as well as those showers move over parts of the island as well. We will see those showers in Lab West, Nain and Cartwright. Sun and cloud for Central Labrador and into the Straits, but another decent day for the island there. And it does look like it will be a little bit warmer, especially through Central. Temperatures more like 24 or 26, but still cool there on the southwest coast and into the west coast. Taking a look at our 5-day forecast now, we see that rain for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday that we just saw, things looking fairly nice there. Friday, Saturday looking like we could pick up a few showers there again. For Central and Western now, for Central, it looks like the trend is very similar. Rain on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday looking good. Picking up showers or a chance of them for Friday and Saturday. Same thing there for Western Newfoundland, with temperatures falling back for you on Thursday. On up into Labrador now. For Eastern Labrador, seeing some showers on Tuesday. Again, the Wednesday, Thursday looking like beautiful summer days. Picking up some precipitation, possibly on Friday and Saturday. And for Western Labrador, it looks like you'll have showers, possibly a nice day, showers, a nice day, chance of showers again. Taking a look now at our weather photo of the day. It comes to us from Woody Point, and it's a beautiful sunset from the west coast there, going on up towards the northern peninsula, but it's a hazy one because, you know, we've got a lot of smoke from those wildfires, so that creates a little bit of haze. And if you do have any photos that you'd like to send to us, you can always do so at nlphotos@cbc.ca. We love to see them.
Yeah, you can really see the smoke in the air there. And you mentioned earlier, I mean, it isn't this area, but there's an air quality warning in effect for the Musgrave Harbour area right now because of the fire.
Yes, that's right. So if you can keep your doors and windows closed, that's always a good idea to keep out some of those smoke particles, especially for anyone who might be vulnerable.
Some great advice. All right. Well, that is it for us. Thank you so much for spending part of your evening with us.
Good night.